Space Elves.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rod Bear from SpikyBits.com, and in this video, we are going to take a closer look at some of the latest and greatest releases from Artel W Miniatures. They sent over a huge box full of all of their stuff from 2021, and I figure it would just be really cool to kind of look at some of these space elf, good guy and lady space elves, and bad guy and lady space elves as well, to kind of get a feel for, you know, maybe a release that's coming down the pipe soon from another company. I don't know. And the funny thing is, these miniatures are now, with the valuation of Games Workshop's miniatures, shockingly on par, if not affordable, to GW Plastics. So let's dive in and take a closer look, starting over at artelw.com. Here it is right here, artelw.com. They do have sales from time to time. I think right now they're running a little bit behind on shipping. Orders over $300 are going to have a 25% discount applied to them, and free shipping on orders over $100. They say 2 to 8 weeks for delivery. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten my stuff maybe for processing, but I feel like once it goes out, it comes in like 2 weeks. So maybe there's that much of a delay these days. I don't know. So obviously, save your hobby dollars together, maybe get some friends together and scoop up, a relatively largish size order so you can take advantage of these discounts in that lead time perhaps. Because that seems like the best way to do it. Obviously, you're not just going to order one miniature for them, which I get. I don't think there's a lot of people here in the States, unfortunately, carrying their stuff yet. But that being said, you never really know. I mean, obviously, we have a few other things that we give out to our Patreon supporters that they send over to us. So now that we've got all the bookkeeping aside, you can kind of see the selections of things in here. Of course, we're going to click on 20mm scale miniatures. I already have it open here in the different tab. And I scrolled over to the stars of the show today, the Spectral Spinners. Because these guys are really cool, and we've seen some similar conversions in the past for something like this on the internet, and maybe that's even where this was inspired from. I feel like, so one of these guys is porting, or ladies it looks like, is porting out of the warp and kind of inside of that might be a space brain, I suppose. And you can see once you scroll through here at all the different parts and things that you can use to assemble it. You don't have to put on the gory bits of the legs or anything like that if you don't want to, I suppose. I'm not sure what we're gonna do here. There's another version of it, so it's very dynamic and very cool, and I love the composition of it. You don't even have to use the portal if you don't want to, but I figure why the heck not? I mean, look at that. It's really cool. It's just like shattering apart because it's bamfing out of the Nightcrawler book of sound effects into existence or reality, I suppose, right there. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention too that I was talking about was that these are basically on par with Games Workshop miniatures, and I talk about it a lot. Boutique, artisanal, handcrafted and sculpted and developed through a team of designers and artists and conceptualizations and things out there, people that are in the hobby doing good things. This is a great place to vote with your hobby dollars, of course, because once these prices get to be closer to what we see from plastics, now you got Howling Banshees from Games Workshop at $60. It's just something to think about, when you're like, hey, what do I need for this army, or what do I want to paint on next? Hey, this guy looks really cool. Maybe I just want the leader guy, or maybe I want this squad. Oh, and another thing to talk about too, I wanted to mention, was when you pick up the squad, you can add extra heads, you can add extra duders, and there's a little bit of a discount on it too. So if you add, you want to go with a total of 10, you get basically a $10 discount. You can add in the Spectral Prime if you want to. All sorts of different things in here, and it gives you discounts the more you buy. So it gets you closer, to that $300, but it also gives you greater discounts if you do hit that $300. So it's just cool, and there's value in this, right? It's like the more you buy, the more you save, which is kind of the way it should be, I suppose. So let's now there's more. There's bad guy elves and lady elves and some other good guy stuff. I didn't show it all to you. This is page 2, so there's some stuff on page 1, some stuff on page 3. We're going through a huge backlog of this stuff. They sent us a huge box, but I thought this would be some great stuff to get recorded and get out there really fast. So we're going to take a look at everything that we've got together here in the studio. But first, let's start off with how the miniatures actually come packaged. So all the squads and figures and things are going to come in this brown craft paper with, you know, some twine and a little wax seal. That's a W. I don't know if you can see it in the light there, but I assure you that is a W. And it's going to have, you know, the squad mark right there, or basically a designation of what it is, just to make it a little easier, so you're not like, what do I got to open this to figure out what it is. But speaking of opening it, let's go ahead and open this up and kind of show you, because this is one that we're going to build for sure. There's going to be some bubble wrap in here, and then you get to the parts. Oh, and you know what I'm going to build. So there's that, and then you can see, you know, it's basically all the things we just showed you on the interwebs. So this is definitely some high quality cast resin. Let's zoom in a little bit. Like I said, it's definitely hand cast and poured. Just looking at it here, look at that great detail, all the cracks and all the texture and the warp thing. Let's see, so I guess that goes, oh yeah, look at that. Oh, perfect. Very neat. And I guess this is texture for the base. Yep, texture for I really like that they use triangles instead of squares, because squares quickly become, when you use resin, quickly become circles, and there's not a whole lot of locking in, but they know what's up here. So a couple different bits, and then these are the feet that go on there. I guess you put those on there. I have to look at the instructions. The body, very, very cool. All this is super crisp. Yep, triangles. I like that. I like that they use triangles. I was always really impressed by that. There's the random head going up in the air, some weapon arms and things. So nothing else we're going to really see any detail or glean anything from until we get this model and a whole bunch of other models assembled to showcase. So starting out, we got some bad guy stuff. These are the flesh golems of Voidborn Ancients. So remember, there's Starborn Ancients, which are the good guys, and then there's Voidborn Ancients, which are the bad guys. So this is a squad of 3, which I didn't show you on the internet, but then they come with a bunch of different options and stuff. And this dude is just a flexing, straight flexing. I love these guys. Obviously, I know some of these models, you know, being great alternates, true Jakari. Some of them are a little bit hard to find these days. I'm not sure. I think the foot was mispositioned here, maybe. Oopsie. But you know, whatever. 40 mil base is probably just fine. So these guys are great, and kind of being on a 40 yard, you kind of know the size right there. So those will work for a lot of different things. I feel like, and different weapon options and such. I think there's different heads too. I'd have to double check. And then there's this little lady here, a bone chanter. So I suppose maybe an alternate or proxy war singer, perhaps, or I don't know, bone singer. I don't know. Either way, very, very cool miniature. I like the composition of it. It could be good or evil, I suppose. I don't know if it had a. Nope, it was just generic. So, and then there's 2 of these mistresses. I don't know what the plural is, of flesh. So this one's got all sorts of Doc Ock kind of tentacles all over her. I don't know what's going on with that, but she's got somebody's head. So that's one of them. I don't know which one's which, to be quite honest. Now, I ran out bases too. Don't tell them. This one's pretty interesting. It's a little bit more kind of StarCrafty, I suppose, but pretty neat. Just the same. There's a couple different heads in there. She's a little bit older. She's I don't know what is this? Doing some stuff. Is that a heart? I think that's a heart. I can't tell. I can see better in that. Yep, that's definitely a heart. Gross or not gross? No, that's a skull. Man, I cannot see this with my naked eye, but looking through the camera, you can see everything. Holy cow, that's insane how detailed it is. I couldn't even tell what that was when I was gluing it together. I probably would have positioned that a little bit better. Yeah, oh well, I digress. And then there's the stars of the show, at least in my mind. This guy right here, I didn't even know we had. This is the, what is he? Legendary Outcast. So he's pretty neat. He's pretty neat. I like him. It's got a cool flowing robe, and I just killed your evil robot mans through the evil robot hearts kill shot right there, and a nice long rifle just doing his thing. Very, very neat. And then there's the squad of spectral spinners, and these guys all look fresh. So let's take a closer look at all of them. So you've got just kind of the, I don't want to say basic bitch, but yeah, you got the base guys here, which are anything but bitches. Very, very cool and dynamic, not all duplicated. And you've got this one that's running, kind of looking up like, hey, maybe I want to jump up there. This one that, hey, maybe I just landed. And then there's the prime and there's the leader. I think that's what it is. A squad leader and a prime, but these aren't the prime. Which one's the one it's the teleporter? He's the prime. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess this is just part of the squad here. So this guy's just doing his thing with his, like, you know, kind of harnessing a little Darth Vader kind of look there. Very, very cool. And then there's the leader that has the extra stuff on there that we've come to see with the blades and the pew-pews and the lady parts. And then here, why is it so light? I don't know why it's popping so bright, but this is the one I love. So I assembled it all up. Didn't have the feet on there because you have to put them on there, and I don't know, it just didn't seem quite right. But you got the head and you got the bolter kind of flying in the air, and then just kind of teleporting out of nowhere. I didn't realize there was these little bits that you put on the back there too, so that's really cool to see. Guts, yeah, very, very cool looking. Very neat composition, and the flowing hair. Lots going on. Now there was, what was it? I think there was some alternate ways you could build this, like this attached to the column without the little warp portal coming open, and you know, there's lots of different ways to do it. So it's a really cool kit that just, you know, is a really cool centerpiece, and you can do lots of different effects and things here, just depending on what you want to do with the paint job and things. But overall, I think it's really cool. And like I said, you know, once you start looking at this stuff, it really starts becoming on point, or, you know, slightly cheaper than, or almost the same as something from Games Workshop. And I mean, when you're talking about sizes, they definitely compare there, just like we showed you with the other stuff. You know, 32mm base. I think it's very, very well done, easy to put together. The resins are high quality. It's very crisp, lots of detail, but not too much detail that you don't want to paint it. You know. Enough detail that you can get in there and do some glow effects and things depending on what you really want to do. So I think they knocked it out of the park with these miniatures, and now is definitely the time with the new Space Elves coming out as well from Games Workshop. So that's it for this one. Make sure you go over to artelw.com, scoop up yours, maybe put an order in with a few friends. But before you go over there, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our future videos. If you liked that video feature, consider supporting us over at patreon.com and get back in the mail each month a miniature crate full of some of the stuff we review here, as well as some of the top 3D artist designs out there too, to help support what they're doing. Plus discount coupon codes from some of those same manufacturers. They're yours to keep, whether you cancel or stay on. It's totally up to you. Obviously, we want to keep you as happy as possible. So check it out over at patreon.com/spikybits.